Hello, podcast fans. Adam Carolla here. I'm leading the fight against patent trolls who are threatening this medium. It's not about me. It's about the podcast you're listening to right now. If I go down, this show could be next. So visit fundanything.com/patent troll for more information on how you can keep podcasting alive. Thank you and mahalo.
You are now listening to the J Porks Experience. Listen free on iTunes or at theandydareshow.com. Now, here's Jay!
Yo, what is the word, people? Welcome to another edition of the J Porks Experience. I'm Jay Porks. With me, as always, on the other side of the glass, making sure this is a well-oiled podcast machine every week, is nobody. Got a few topics to hit on today, but first I'm going to give you the list of websites you need to go to help keep me in business. First of all, there's concertconfessions.com. That's for all your live music, news and reviews, for fans, by fans. We got our buddy Bees Nuts hitting up vintage vinyl again. The Lonely Wild live at Vintage Vinyl. Vintage Vinyl in St. Louis. They have these great in-stores. I wish I can go to an in-store. Nice little record store, get a record, watch a performance, go home, still in the daytime. You don't really get that much in New York City. I mean, I know Rough Trade, the new Rough Trade Records tries to do stuff like that, but you don't normally. So when I see our buddies from St. Louis posting things from Vintage Vinyl, I always get jelly. And that's exactly what I'm at, what I am right now, jelly. So we've got that, and the Local H tour dates, and all the stuff I mentioned last week, and you can go to concertconfessions.com, and you can click all the ads, the Amazon ads, and they'll take you to Amazon, and you could buy stuff, because you're going to buy stuff anyway. You might as well buy it from us, right? Right. I also need you to go to theandydeershow.com. That's theandydeershow.com. That's not only for my podcast, not only for the J Porks Experience, but you can get the Tyler Cale Show. You can get the flagship show, the Andy Deer Show, and much more coming your way at theandydeershow.com. I was listening to Tyler Cale's latest podcast, and him and his guest were talking about Trader Joe's and the wardrobe that you need when you go to Trader Joe's. Like, you have to dress up to go to Trader. You have to reevaluate your wardrobe before you go to Trader Joe's, because you don't want to be judged by the folks in the produce section. So, and when you're at theandydeershow.com, I need you to click those ads as well. Help us out, because why not? I also need you to go to ChristinaRocks.com. Hang the DJ. That's Christina Rocks with no H. She hosts the Time Warp 89xradio.com, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time, out of Detroit. And it's an old school alternative show. And I usually listen. I listen every Sunday, except for this past yesterday. I was sleeping. Sorry. But if you go to our website, there's a New Order announced a mini North American tour. They got a handful of dates. They're playing Chicago. They're playing Sasquatch. I guess we knew that already. They're playing the Queen Elizabeth Theater in Vancouver. They're playing San Francisco at the Bill Graham Civic Center. Let's see. And Los Angeles. They're playing the Greek. Get them to the Greek. Meanwhile, Peter Hook tours North America this fall, playing Low Life and Brotherhood in full. Okay, so that's New Order's mini tour. You can get that on ChristinaRocks.com. Also, she's got Soundgarden 9 Inch Nails dates, and we are rest in peacing Scott Ashton from the Stooges. Drummer of the Stooges died on Saturday at the age of 64. That's two Ashtons that are now passed away from the Stooges. So I mean, listen. I mean, if you like punk rock at all, if you like rock and roll at all, I mean, you appreciate what the Stooges are about. You appreciate what that whole movement, what that whole genre was about. And if you appreciate punk, you appreciate Ron Ashton, Scott Ashton, and the Stooges, Iggy Pop, all those guys. The Stooges were gonna record an album this year or play live this year, but Iggy Pop has taken the year off. But he's not mad about it. He doesn't care. He said, "You guys have fun." But then this happened, and you know what? I'll read. Let's get a statement from Iggy Pop. This is from Iggy Pop after after Scott Ashton passed away. I apologize. They're brothers. My Iggy quote: "My dear friend Scott Ashton passed away last night. Scott was a great artist. I have never heard anyone play the drums with more meaning than Scott. He was like my brother. He and Ron have left a huge legacy to the world. The Ashtons have always been and continue to be a second family to me. My thoughts are with his sister Kathy, his wife Liz, and his daughter Leanna, who was the light of his life." And the cause is I'm hearing unknown illness, which means we don't know. It's really what it means. But his brother Ron died of a heart attack in 2009. So we're gonna smoke one for Scott Ashton today. Stooges, and I mean, all these punk documentaries, all these things about the history of punk, and they always talk about the Ramones. And I'm not nothing against the Ramones. Great band. Great band for all that 1.5 chords they can play. But the genre of punk was coming out of Detroit, where Christina Rocks is. That's where it was coming out of, with the MC5 and the Stooges. And that's a fact. In America, anyway. The Sex Pistols were obviously, and I've been watching Sex Pistols documentaries all week because I've just been in a Sex Pistols mood. But what the Sex Pistols were doing in England was something totally different, and they looked up to the bands like the Stooges as well. So there's that. You actually have the, I think it's the Stooges final, not the Stooges. I'm sorry, the Sex Pistols final performance, and they're covering the Stooges, "No Fun," and they only play the one song. And Johnny Rotten goes, you ever get the feeling you've been cheated? Ha ha. And they leave after playing one song for about 8 minutes. And it was no fun. Stooges cover. You get it? It's ironic because they weren't having fun. In fact, I'm not sure if that's irony. I've been told that I'm using irony wrong. So I'm going to stay away from it. I don't want to be like Alanis Morissette and just say a bunch of things that are bad luck and call it irony. Alright, I got off track here. Also, AnnieQuiet.com. That's where you need to go for all your music news, everything. There's so much shit going on at AnnieQuiet, I don't even know. I haven't even heard of half of this stuff. I will never be more amazed than I am every time I open up AnnieQuiet and I see that there's some new stuff going on at all times. Soundgarden soared into South by Southwest playing Super Unknown. They played it at the iTunes Festival, and they secretly played it on a rooftop somewhere else in Austin. Shows going on all over the place in Austin. You know who else popped up in Austin? The Foxborough Hot Tubs. That's right. That's the Green Day side project. Not side project. It's Green Day. They just don't play Green Day songs. They have the Foxborough Hot Tubs, and they have a bunch of they have an album that you can find it online. They released an album a couple of years ago, and it was like a one-off thing. It was a one-off thing, and I wasn't sure, and I liked it. And I was like, wow, I really wish Green Day would keep doing this, and they didn't. They went back to being Green Day. But the Foxborough Hot Tubs played a secret show. I think Childish Gambino was there. Also in Soundgarden news, we have Soundgarden's new touring drummer is Matt Chamberlain. Now, I said a couple of weeks ago, I said that if Soundgarden was to, first of all, when they said that they were releasing the Super Unknown deluxe reissue, box set, whatever, it's not a box set, it's a reissue. It's a deluxe edition. When I said that they were when I announced that they were releasing that and that they are playing the iTunes Festival, playing Super Unknown in its entirety, I said they'd probably tour doing Super Unknown. And I said if they tour doing Super Unknown, they're probably not going to bring Matt Cameron because he's probably going to be busy with Pearl Jam. Well, doesn't mean you can't get another past Pearl Jam drummer to be in, because Matt Chamberlain's in. I guess Jack Irons wasn't available. Dan Peters is busy. Let's find a guy with drumsticks in Seattle and bring him on tour with us. But anyway, so Soundgarden and Nine Inch Nails will be doing their co-headlining tour with Death Grips opening. Tell me how you feel about that. I'm not quite sure how I feel about it. So they'll be coming around. I think it's August 2nd at the PNC Bank Arts Center. That's where I'm gonna get my Soundgarden Nine Inch Nails fix in. If they don't try to charge me $1 million for the ticket. The thing is, PNC Bank Arts Center has a lawn section. Venues with lawn sections usually have lawn prices being between $20 and $30. But if Soundgarden and Nine Inch Nails come through and they try to make the lawn tickets $50, I got news for you. I will happily sit home and not go to that. If the lawn's going to be a regular price, I'll check out the lawn. Because when you get a lawn seat, you can sneak down to the bottom, get in a good seat. I wonder who's going to I mean, they'll probably... Nine Inch Nails was on the top of the poster. So maybe Soundgarden will go on first. And again, I don't know if Soundgarden has not said that they're playing Super Unknown. They just played it at the iTunes Festival in South by Southwest. They have not announced that they're playing Super Unknown. They're just releasing it on Record Store Day, 20th anniversary. And it's funny because Nine Inch Nails' Downward Spiral was also released the same day that year and is also turning 20 years. So the bands should do if the bands wanted to play those albums, no one would think they're wrong for it. But I don't see Trent Reznor doing that. I see Trent Reznor playing a bunch of songs you've never heard of before. I don't know why. I just think that that's what it's going to be. The new songs. Bring out his wife, and they'll do some How to Destroy Angels. So you can read all about Matt Chamberlain joining Soundgarden on antiquiet.com. Everything I've mentioned in the last 10 minutes has been on antiquiet.com. Stone Throw Records announced Our Vinyl Weighs a Ton tour. You can watch Chelsea Wolfe's haunting 6-song live set from Studio A in KCET Studio A. Queens of the Stone Age and Paramore headlining Reading and Leeds this summer. Phish have summer 2014 tour dates. Ladies and gentlemen, the band that will jam the fuck out of you is going on tour again. After a one-off performance at the New Orleans Jazz Fest in April, the band will kick off their tour at a venue known as the Great Woods on July 1st. From there, the band mainly sticks to the East Coast and the South, hitting familiar haunts such as the beloved markets in such beloved markets as Saratoga Springs, New York, Columbia, Maryland, and Alpharetta, Georgia. Also of note, Phish will host 3-night stands at Randall's Island in New York City, Northerly Island in Chicago, and Dick's in Colorado during Labor Day. They're going back to Dick's. Last time they played Dick's, they had a set list where I don't know if this was last time they played Dick's, but a previous time they played Dick's, they had a set list. The first letter of each song spelled out "fuck your face," which is just cool. It's just cool to do that. So yeah, this thing is Phish is gonna spend a good like the first 2 weeks of July within distance from me. They're gonna play Saratoga Springs on the July 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Then they're shooting out to Philly for 2 nights, and then they're at Randall's Island July 11th, 12th, and 13th. And then they're playing at the CMAC Performing Arts Center in Cannondale. I can't pronounce that town, and it's probably it's upstate New York somewhere. So Phish. So if any wooks want to take me to Phish, let me know. I'll go. The problem with Phish is all these tickets are probably bought and being scalped already. Cash or trade. And Dick's is the Dick's Sporting Goods in Commerce City, Colorado, is the 3-night show closer. So for your Phish dates, go to Contact Confession. Sorry. For your Phish dates, go to anniequiet.com. I'll put them up on contactconfessions.com. They'll be there. But right now, it's up on anniequiet.com. Our buddy Reverend Justito, who told me that he is not coming out to New York City for Phish this year. Sad face emoticon. I'll eventually get him out here. So if anyone wants to take me to Phish, I'm down. Also, you can watch Metallica debut a new song, The Lords of Summer, in Colombia. You know, while they were having dinner with the cartel and doing fine cocaine, they debuted a new song. Of course, besides the cartel and the cocaine part, there's an 8-minute Metallica song. And they actually, it's funny, because a couple of days ago news broke, Metallica will debut a new song on this date. And it's crazy. I never thought that it would be such a big deal that the band's going to debut a song maybe in the future. But that happened, and you could get it at anniequiet.com as we speak. Usually when I'm writing, I have to say as I type. But no, I can say as I speak. So that's all the websites. And jporksmusic.blogspot.com for the notes. So what goes on, people? I just gave you the headlines there. Nothing really big in the news of music news breaking this week. I mean, we had a lot of South by Southwest stuff. We had Lady Gaga thrown up on stage, which is just stupidity. I mean, I just don't get what anything she does is just outright lunacy. I don't get why, I don't even get why people would, when you report about that, I know you have to report about things, but when you report about things like that, you make her want to do things like that again. It's like when Peter Griffin falls down the stairs and he's crying to Brian, and Brian turns and said, "If I get help, you're not going to learn anything." That's the same thing with Lady Gaga. You guys keep feeding into this. She's not going to learn anything. She's throwing up on stage. You also had some guy, I say some guy not because I'm uninformed, I say some guy because I'm not going to make him famous and justify his behavior by saying his name, but there was some kid who got drunk and plowed through South by Southwest with a car. He killed, I think, at least one person, maybe two, or maybe two people. There were tons of people hurt at South by Southwest in Austin. And the kid's like 21 years old. Or 20, he can't be more than 25. He's got 6 children. And I think he's an up-and-coming musician. You know, way to kill your audience by just driving into them. I'm sure they love that. I mean, South by Southwest is just... I think it should be... I joked. I tweeted the other day. It should be longer. They should make South by Southwest longer. I was kidding. I was deaf kidding on that. I mean, one day maybe I'll be able to get out to South by Southwest. I have a feeling by the time, the way I do things, by the time I get out to South by Southwest, it'll already not be cool anymore. It's just me. Oh, it's St. Patrick's Day, right? Happy St. Patty's Day to everybody. You know, between St. Patrick's Day and an earthquake in California this morning, Twitter's not much for me news-wise this morning. Not much at all. Nothing's going on besides people talking about what they were doing during the earthquake and St. Patrick's Day and people getting back from South by Southwest feeling like they're standing next to themselves. They're so tired. What else happened this week? Well, I'll tell you what happened. What happened was Friday night I came home and I opened up my computer. I turned that bitch on. I went to bookingbuddy.com and you know what I did? I booked a flight to Colorado. Yes, I did. March 31st, I will be leaving out of LaGuardia. I think it's LaGuardia. Might be JFK. Anyway, March 31st, I'll be flying out to the lovely Rocky Mountains, Denver, where I'll meet up with my friend Linda Kite, who I met up with last year on April 1st when we went to Pennsylvania, Lancaster, then New Hope, then back to the city. It will be Jay and Linda's Excellent Adventures Part 2, as she will be driving from LA to Colorado. She will meet me at the airport in Denver, and we will go on a merry way. We will see the Meat Puppets open for the Moist Boys at the Gothic Theater. Then we will see the Moist Boys open for the Meat Puppets at the Fox Theater. The days might be reversed, but I know the Meat Puppets close on the 2nd. And then on the 3rd, when the Meat Puppets have a day off, I will be finding things to do in Denver when you're porks. You know what else I'll be doing? I may or may not be going into a store and charging marijuana on my credit card. I may or may not do that. And then I will be returning April 3rd at midnight. So it's more like April 4th. It's funny how the flight booking websites make that work. I want to leave on the 3rd. Okay, your flight leaves at 11:59 on the 3rd. Oh, so it's the 4th. So if you're in Denver, or if you know anyone in Denver, you should come check out the Meat Puppets and the Moist Boys and me. Because it's going to be a party. I'll be honest with you, I don't know what, besides those shows, my days are not planned. So if you're there, or if you know somebody who's there, let's do it. I got a bunch of people telling me, you know what they're telling me? This really annoys me. They say, you're going to get to Denver, and you don't live there, so they're only going to let you buy, like, a quarter ounce of pot. Oh, they're only going to let me buy what it takes me 2 weeks to smoke in my house? Okay. And you know what a lot of people also say? Be careful, don't take any back. How fucking greedy could you be? I just want to enjoy. I'll enjoy it while I'm there. I'm not looking to break any federal laws. I'm going to take pot back with me? Why? Why would I do that? Why would I want to go to jail? I know sometimes I have this feeling like maybe if I went to prison it would give me an excuse to turn my life around, but damn. I don't want to go that fast. So we've got that. I'm going to Denver. Unless some shit happens, then I gotta cancel. As of right now, I will be seeing the Meat Puppets April 1st and 2nd. And then I'll be seeing Local H back in New York City on April 21st. And again, I'm looking at that Soundgarden 9 Inch Nails date for August 2nd. And there's a Linkin Park 30 Seconds to Jared Leto and AFI date at PNC that I might want to check out as well. So a couple of shows that could possibly be happening. As for the podcast when I'm flying out, I have to take a look at the calendar. Is that on a Monday? The 31st is on a Monday, and that's when I'm flying out. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'll record it that morning. I'll either record it that morning, or I'll record it when I get back. And it'll be a Friday We might have to skip that week. I'm not sure. You know what I'll do? I'll talk to Andy, and we're gonna figure it out. Because the computer I use for the podcast is not the computer I use for work, and I can't bring them both because it's just gonna be too heavy for me. And packing the microphone would be a whole thing. But you know what I would like to do? I'd like to find an app on my iPhone and get some interviews with, any Moist Boys members, any Meat Puppets, fans, anybody. I would love to just get a fan's account of what's going on there. And I'd like to share it with you on the podcast. So I'm hoping that could happen. So if anyone knows any good apps to record things, holler at me. There's that. So Jay Porks goes to Denver. Scary, scary things. That feeling of when the plane takes off and you're so scared and so excited. Because it's like, wow, this is cool. I'm like off the ground. And then you're like, holy shit, I'm off the ground. Then you're like, wow, this is cool. I'm off the ground. The entire flight. So there's that. There's my trip. Just for the folks who I follow Live Nation on Twitter. Live Nation decided to break some news. The Goo Goo Dolls and Daughtry are touring this summer. The amount of people that care, none. Alright, so you know what I've got to do? I've got to pay some bills. We'll finish up on I'll touch on our Mount Rushmore again, cartoons, and plus other assorted bullshit when we come back after this. Hey, Jay Porks here, recording my own commercials. If you want to find your website in this little spot in between my podcasts, you just hit me up on Twitter at jporks, or you email me jporks@gmail.com, and you hit up the Andy Deer Show. Hit up Andy Deer. Hit up Tyler Kale. Hit up everybody. It's the Deer Network coming to you live in 2014. You know what I hate more than anything in life? I hate these people who constantly concern themselves with things that they have no idea what is going on. For instance, I just got a call for someone telling me to turn on the TV. It's one of these fucking... First of all, these shows with the doctors on them need to be banned from television. You have a bunch of hypochondriacs with fucking health insurance because they all have Obamacare sitting at home making up diseases that they have. That's A. B, I got people calling me talking about, Jay, you use a lot of Splenda. You should see what they're saying. It makes your stomach bloated. Yeah? If it did, why am I not fat anymore? That's all I want to know. If you can't lose weight using Splenda in your coffee, then how did I lose 115 pounds? It's lies. It's not real. It's for ratings. They want you to watch. Just like the news doesn't tell you what happened because they want you to know. The news tells you things that they're going to make that they think you're going to tune in to listen to, so you can buy the stuff that they're advertising during the commercials. Same thing with this doctor's show. I'll tell you this much. In my 16-ounce coffee that I had that I put this morning, double-digit Splendas. Double-digit. You gonna tell me I'm gonna die? I don't really care. I'm gonna look good in a coffin. You know how good I look right now? I never said I was trying to have a healthy lifestyle. Don't fucking tell me about... That's like the other day, I'm buying marijuana illegally in my Nazi police state. And my friend turns to me and he says, with a straight face, I swear that this happened. He turns to me with a straight face and says, yo, you know how close we are to World War III? Do I know how close we are to World War III? No. And if I did, What could I do to stop it? Me personally, what can J Porks do to stop World War III? You want me to go to Syria and mediate some peace talks? Is that what you want me to do? You think my winning smile's gonna do it? I'm not gonna sit here and fucking worry about things I can't control. Like if I'm gonna lose weight by using Splenda or sugar, or if the world is gonna go to World War III, which they've been saying is gonna happen since 1960. World War III. Bring on World War V. I don't. What am I gonna do? What is J Porks? In fact, I'll even go one better. What is the Deer Network gonna do for you? What are me and the Entirely gonna do for you? You know what? You can even tell Adam Carolla. What's Adam Carolla gonna do about World War III? Can he stop it? No. Nobody can. To sit around and think about stuff like that, like instead of sitting around and worry about where my next paycheck is coming from, instead of sitting around and worry about getting a job, I'm gonna worry about World War III is coming. Damn. Crazy. Don't we have enough drones to take them out? I don't even know who we'd be fighting against. All people live this depressed freaking life, man. I swear, everything's lame. I don't even like to ask people how they're doing anymore because nobody's doing all right. Everybody's got a fucking problem because there's a show on TV. There's a show on TV every second of the day glorifying your problems, whether it's you can watch Mob Wives and Real Thought Juice. What's that show? Hip Hop Wives, right? Or Real Housewives of Hip Hop or something like that. Kill yourself. You watch those fucking thoughting around? You really do? I don't get it. I barely even watch television. I have sports on all day. All I need to do is have on ESPN. I'm going to count my Splenda. I'm going to drinking diet soda. You can't lose weight drinking diet soda. Yeah, except for me. I must be the statistical anomaly. Or am I just not afraid of the fucking world? There's that meme, like, it says, when I was a kid, I drank water from a hose and nothing ever happened to me. Well, it's true. Nothing ever happened to me. I'm not going to do a fucking lime cleanse just because it's the hip thing to do. I texted Pam this the other day. They got all these lemon cleanse, lime cleanse. You make juices out of citrus fruits, and that's all you intake for like 2 weeks. Why don't they make one with cantaloupe? Because I would love to have one with cantaloupe. That's just, I just wanna use the one fruit that tastes good. The one fruit that tastes good. Oh boy. Right? Isn't it crazy? So yeah, before you go on diets, folks, make sure you watch the latest episode of The Doctors or Dr. Oz or whatever fucking idiot is on television telling you what you should be doing instead of your parents telling you what you should be doing. Everyone wants to blame, Pepsi and Coke for making their kids fat when they should just watch what their kids have. When I was a kid, my parents let me have soda, so I got fat. Then I didn't get girls, so I lost weight by drinking diet soda and Splenda instead of regular soda and sugar. I mean, get a mind of your own. Think for yourself. Fucking Looney Tunes. Alright, so I'm going to once again run down the, by the way, the Mount Rushmore is still open, cartoon characters, it's March, it's going to run all of March, not cartoon characters, your favorite cartoons, Simpsons, Family Guy, South Park, I Need a Fourth, what goes in your cartoon Mount Rushmore? I'm doing that. This is all of March. Also, I'll share my Spotify playlist, March Madness. I'll share it on the show notes that will go up tomorrow. Pretty sure that will go out tomorrow. And you could check out and stay tuned to anyquiet.com because there's going to be, since there's no South by Southwest coverage up yet, I'm guessing that it's en route back to headquarters right now. And somebody will put that up. So you go to anyquiet.com for your music news, interviews, and reviews, and all that stuff. Your source for quality. You go to ChristinaRocks.com, hang the DJ. She hosts Time Warp 89xradio.com on the weekends. You go to theandydeershow.com, the flagship show. The flagship show, the flagship station for the flagship show. You go to theandydeershow.com. You get my podcast, you get Andy's podcast, you get the Tyler Cale show, and you get anything that may be coming to us in the future, courtesy of the Deer Network. And you go to concertconfessions.com for all your live music, news and reviews, for fans, by fans. You come, you join our family, and we will hook you up and help you become as cool as guys like Jay Porks. For now, happy St. Patty's Day, whiskey, weed, and Warren Zevon. Late.
This has been the Jay Porks Experience. Thank you so much for listening.